Dear friend, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ego exilo, unitorum statum Americae ac rei publicae, quam designat fidelitatem spondio uni natione sub Deo indivisibili cum libertate atque justitia omnibus. This is the blueprint. This is it. Let us make sure we start with this. And to all my dear friends watching from around the world, welcome. I don't want you to feel left out here, but we are Americans. And I have this as my framework. My interest in other countries only applies as far as how we deal with them, whether we're getting involved in matters we shouldn't be, whether those countries are affecting us. I believe, very frankly, in America first. If you're from Spain, it should be España primero, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, make sure you understand that. That's what this is. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I don't know what parties mean. I am not a fan. I'm not MAGA. I'm not anything. American. Let me please always remember. I want you to reacquaint yourself with the Constitution. This is the only rule book that says, what do you have to do to be an American? Try going to another country. See, what do I have to be an Italian? What are the rules of being an Italian? I don't know. This is it. And it starts with the government and then Bill of Rights. From that, who knows? It has now devolved into a mess. And the issue is trying to bring it back without destroying the republic. We are a republic and not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. We are elected. We believe in following the rules. Tyranny by the majority is not the way to do it. There was a time in this country when most people, including most people who wrote the Constitution, believed in slavery. We changed our mind then. Please do not become confused as to what a democracy is. We are not a democracy. We do not have the majority tell us what we're doing. We have rules. We have bases. We always go back to the rules. These are the things which are the most important. These are the most critical. This is what I have to explain to folks, which is the most important. We are it. We are basically this is an anarchy, anarchical, if you will. This is something which is important. We base international relations, as Mearsheimer said, on anarchy, meaning there is no hierarchy, meaning that when we get into trouble, there's no 911 to call, as Mearsheimer so eloquently says. There is no one above us. It goes for other countries as well. This is anarchy versus hierarchy. There's no one above us. We have to do everything in our power to ensure our own survival. Do you dig what I'm saying? These are the fundamentals. This is critical. Everybody has to understand this. Tell me you understand this. You have to also prepare for the worst, not for the impossible. I don't think a unicorn stampede is in the offing, but complete and total societal breakdown, oh yes. And the very first thing to think about, the very first thing is, what if you are unable to feed yourself? Listen to this. Let's talk about a very serious subject, emergency food. That's right, emergency food. Now, I know at first blush it's difficult for most people to think about something that they just take for granted, ever reaching, emergency status. We're used to stores always being open, deliveries always made, no supply chain disasters, no ransomware catastrophes, shutting down gas stations, no trucking strikes, no war, no protests from farmers, no mysterious Chinese weather balloons, nothing catastrophic in terms of weather. Well, that can't happen to us, right? And I understand it's a defense mechanism that we have because the idea of ever not being able to eat or locate food is seemingly incomprehensible to most people. But think about this. It's not. That's why it's time for you to go to my site, preparedwithlionel.com. Preparedwithlionel.com has the deal of deals for you. Take it as a starter set, an introduction set. You've been putting off emergency food for too long. Some people still have a thing about prepping as though prepping for emergency is foolish. Now, right now, you can save $200 on a 3-month emergency supply kit. This is unbelievable. 22 varieties with a 25-year shelf life, 25 years, 2,000 calories a day in 6 rugged buckets, 120 pounds of food. Could you go 3 months, 90 days if stores closed? Be honest. Could you go a week without any trips to the store? I don't think so. I'm not talking about having stuff in your cabinet. I'm not talking about banana chips and jerky. I'm talking about food, real food. So go right now to preparewithlionel.com. This moment, right now, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. Go now and thank me later. Now, my friends, I want to start off with today's harangue by setting you off into the right direction today. Everything that I tell you, I hope you will use to talk to your friends about and to remind them of such. And by the way, Alistair McLaughlin, thank you. Welcome. You are a new member. I appreciate that immensely. Now, this is what I want you to understand. I want you to go out there and I want you to explain this. I spend my time among people that you would call Republicans who know nothing. I have people who fancy themselves as news junkies who know nothing. They don't even know what questions to ask. They can't even follow critical thinking. And what I want you to do is I want you to start off by understanding that you're missing the point of what things mean. I have seen, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of comment on FANI WILLIS and what it should be called, parenthetically, is another black woman who gets on our nerves. Because that's really what it's about. I've heard people talk about FANI WILLIS, and I don't know why. I don't hear enough about the legal reasons, the juridical reasons, the jurisprudential reasons, anything, nothing about that. It's another black woman that, and nobody will say this, and it's not because people are racist, but there are some people who are, by virtue of their affect, don't think that doesn't matter. If you don't think that how you come across adds to your level of annoyance, you're not paying attention. You're simply not paying attention. Okay? You understand? I don't want to break it to you, but if FANI WILLIS did everything that she's doing, took the stand, and was not this obnoxious, believe me, it would not catch on. But she comes across as some people, and when I say this, you're going to say, it's a black thing. No, it's people that we've known. There's a comedian. I don't know her name, but she's a white woman, talks like this. Hey, y'all. Kind of like Paula Dean. And she's funny for about 5 minutes. And then you go, I got it. My husband, I don't know what her name is, but you've seen her. My husband and my kids don't know. Okay, all right, okay. Now, what does that mean? What, Appalachian hillbilly trailer white woman? I don't know. But you've met this before. That's the shtick. Is that racist? No, I'm identifying who she is. Hey, y'all. My husband don't, I mean, we have this thing in this country where we say that, oh, don't say that. That's who we are. It's not negative. I'm just pointing it out to you. Have you ever seen this? My big fat Greek wedding. What was that? A big fat what? Greek wedding? Yeah. One of the greatest shows ever that you may or may not have seen. I don't know, but I hope you did. It's called Que Pasa USA or USAR or however you want, whatever you think. It came out of Miami. And this guy, Echevarria, Rocky, who later on was in Scarface, and he was Ari on whatever that Liev Schreiber throw was. Anyway, he was in, and it was about Miami Cubans. Grandfather, the abuelo, abuela, the father, and then the Americanized. It was one of the best shows ever. And you don't know Cubans. You don't know the prototypical Cubans, what they do, what they say. This was it. And I'm telling you, it was fantastic. Why? Because it knew what to say exactly how. It's perfect. So going back to, they look at Fannie Willis and they go, okay. Okay. And you say, what does that mean? What does that mean? I know. No. And we have to identify something. We are a heterogeneous, multicultural, multidisciplinary country that has a variety of folks from a variety of places and a variety of and we know we love ethnicity, but we have to know when and when not to say it. But the problem with this understanding is that while Fannie Willis might be kind of funny to look at and listen to and hear her idiocy with her father explaining how black folks, whatever, believe in cash. She's out to destroy Trump. And you wounded her, but you didn't kill her. Figuratively. Jurisdictionally. She's back and alive and bigger and badder than ever. She is absolutely, without a doubt, more dangerous now than you could ever even imagine. Do you hear what I'm saying? More dangerous because you just wounded her and you got her mad and angry. Now she's going to go back and regroup, and you didn't finish her off. And the reason why you didn't finish her off was that you kept going along with this stupid conflict of interest. What does a conflict of interest have? Ashley Merchant did a wonderful job. She did a wonderful job, but they missed the point. Anybody who all you have to do is just read a cursory review of the case law, and you know right away this is not a basis for disqualification. But she didn't do it. Let me say this again. Remember this. I want you to go out today. Next time somebody said, "What do you think about Fannie Willis?" Remember this. They would not have disqualified her had she hired her husband. A man, ostensibly, she sleeps in the same bed with and has been in a relationship with. So who cares whether she was in a relationship with Nathan Wade? What difference does it make? Let me say this again. Tell me you understand this. This is what I don't want to call people out. They do a good job. But sometimes I see it's like, you're missing the point. 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 Well, when did she have the relationship? Yeah, but they did. What did Yurdi say? Who cares what Yurdi said? That's not the issue. 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 Again, critical thinking. What's the issue? That's not the issue. The issue is not when she had a relationship. The point is she lied. She lied under oath. She lied under oath. She lied under oath as to an issue which would have been immaterial, but now it's material by virtue of the fact that it is involved in this. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is the most important thing in the world. Take this. This is it. And what McAfee doesn't understand is she lied to you. She looked at you and she lied to you. And you're worried about, well, why don't we have Nathan step down? Jesus, you dumbass. Who cares about him? That's not the issue. And the only reason you got away with it is because people like Ashley Merchant and others framed it that way. The issue was not about that. There were three issues here: perjury, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know what you have to hear, but that changes everything. Does anybody talk about that? No. 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 You don't even know. You don't even know the people, the folks who are in the office, people who are in the office, in the DA's office, who themselves had incredible dirt that they had, people, whistleblowers on FANI Willis. You understand what I'm saying? And I would bet you anything that somebody told McAfee without telling him, without saying, look, we're not telling you what to do. You're a judge. You must act rationally and reasonably, and we understand that, okay? But don't push this if you know what's good for you. We'll let you go so far before you push it. Don't push it. Don't make this. We need her. That's all I'm going to say. This is from the higher ups. And I know you're a Republican. And I know Kemp, the governor, appointed you. Don't push this. Do you understand? Don't push this. Keep her on there. And did anybody consult with her? No. There is a new brand. There was a new brand, a new slate, remember Kim? Oh, what's her name? She was the DA for Chicago. Remember that Juicy Smellet? Remember that? Kim, Chicago DA. I think it was Kim Fox, Kimberly Fox. Remember her? She is the state's attorney, which is DA for Cook County. By the way, I'm just Googling now. Whatever happened to Jesse with Smollett? Remember him? I don't even know it because I call him Juicy. Whatever happened? Well, in December, let me see. He what? What happened? They affirmed his convictions and what? Whatever happened? I don't know. One day you're just going to see that he just gets out. Just goes away. Why? There's no follow-up. But Kim Fox was one. She was. Then we have this woman, of course. The best case of the best. And this is the one that everybody should be on. She is the most corrupt politician in the world. Her name is Tiffany Henyard. She's in Dalton, Illinois. And everybody, she is, the majority of her complainants are black. She is the most corrupt, vile, and evil politician ever. It's okay. You can go after her. Nobody's going to be upset because most of the people who are affected are black. But nobody wants to. Why? Because she's black. They don't want this. There's this thing about this. There's this. The media are paralyzed. They don't say it. You just, and nobody's saying bring up the fact that she, no, treat her like you would anybody else. No. People, Eric Adams, the most incompetent mayor. No. Shh. Lori Lightfoot, watch it. Black and gay, watch it. What? Oh, okay, sure, here. Kamala Harris. What was that? Katanji. What'd you say? Watch it, Whitey. What? You can say white supremacy, white this, white nationalism, white. You have been just beaten down to this, and race has nothing to do with it. That's the best part. But you're so afraid. You're panicked. I can't say anything. I say, are you kidding me? Look at this. I don't understand. I don't. We are ethnically crazy. How many times have people been shot down when they say something about what's going on in Israel or Gaza, and you say you're an anti-Semite? What are you talking about? Do you see what we're doing? It's identitarian nonsense. And they're going after everyone. Now, by the way, how do we say this? There have been some people who have obviously nothing to do. I wish to God sometimes we were blind. I wish we could say we were blind. And when if it's Janet Yellen or if it's AOC or if it's Nancy Pelosi or if it's Letitia, we don't know anything about race. We just or ethnicity, nothing. We know nothing about them. We have to find new ways to address and to judge and to evaluate what they do. New ways to do this. We are under a racism stranglehold here. I'm telling you, everybody is so, it is, if I had gone back to the depths, to the horrors, to the days when, I mean, we've never gotten the race thing right. It's either what black folks went through during Jim Crow is incredible. And now we're into this thing where we had Black Lives Matters, critical race theory, this change. And I'm not suggesting that white folks or non-black folks are going through a version of Jim Crow. I'm not saying this. But there's been this switch where people come along and they say, I have a new version about the history of America. Oh, go ahead, please. What? Oh, yes. This was a while back when there was a book called, what was it? Not out of these historical revisionists who said that everything happened in Africa versus, it was just these scholars who said that everything, the pyramids, Western civilization, Shakespeare, whatever. These people just started to make things up. It didn't really catch on. Well, CRT came along, the 1619 Project, and we were off to the races. You can say whatever you want. Whatever you wanted. Something happened. There was a double. It was boom. Then, before it was mild, it was kind of a, let's try affirmative action. Affirmative action was me. Then DEI came along, and it was like, oh my God, what is this? DEI was demented. DEI was crazed. DEI was, oh my God. We couldn't even believe what we were seeing with DEI. Dear God. See where we are right now? And there's nothing at all that's even remotely looking even, how do I say it? Remotely sensible, if that is a word. Sensible. Now, there's another change that's happening. Follow this one. Israel and Gaza. This is bigger than anything you can imagine. We have folks who are now members of the squad who in some respects are making a lot of sense. Look what Rashida Tlaib did. Look what Rashida Tlaib did in Michigan. Look what she's doing. Look how she's going back after Joe Biden. Look what she's doing. Watch what's happening. And you're also going to find this new kind of realignment. I'm listening to people for the first time on various social media platforms that I despised 6 months ago, a year ago. Couldn't even listen to them. Now they're saying, you know what, this makes sense. This is the biggest thing in the world. Let me ask you, do you ever hear anybody really discuss what's going on regarding Israel? I know I'm changing the subject, but get used to it. Did you hear any repercussions tonight regarding Jared Kushner? Anything? Did you see the Jared Kushner interview? Did you see that? I still can't believe I saw what I was seeing. I can't believe it. And see, November Girl says there's only so long someone can play the victim. Well, guess what? It's as long as the victim thing. I don't even know what the story is, but the point is, it's a shifting of power, and it's for reasons I don't understand. It's just the way it is. But it's about race. It's about the reallocation of things, and yet there are people who. Let me go back because it's their instincts. We need sometimes a level of intellectual sophistication that I do not think is in abundance. I know I said it, and I'm going to live with what I said. Going back to FANI Willis, they're not getting into the storyline. The storyline has nothing to do with the fact that she had a relationship. It's the fact that she committed perjury, obstruction of justice, and tampering with witnesses. That's the story. That's the story. We're getting sidelined. I'm going to say something to you also that people don't really grasp. If you really want to see what's important, number one, I'm telling you, do not watch Fox News. Do not watch Fox News. Do not watch Fox News. There is a world, how do I say this? There is a world that is going on in black entertainment, the hierarchy from Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp, and what they are saying about Oprah, what people are saying, and your America is missing the point because to an extent, and you can call it racism, you can say whatever you want, but it's kind of an infantilized version of Black America. Okay? It's an infantilized version. It's like whatever they do, it's not really that important. It's not really that critical. It's, oh, yes, it is that critical. It really is that important. It really is that important. And it really is that critical. Yes, it most certainly is. Well, yes. No. It is that critical. It is that important. It is that important. And what's happening right now is there's a woman named Oprah Winfrey. And Oprah and Tyler Perry are two of the, if there is a shadow government, deep state, Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, within, not just within the Black community, but within the hierarchy of entertainment, those are the high master and mistress and Lord devil, or what, they are it. And there's so much that is being said about this, and it's being missed altogether. Because white America has this infantilized version. They kind of, they don't really understand. They don't grasp what Oprah Winfrey is. Oprah Winfrey is more powerful than Hillary Clinton, more powerful than Kamala Harris, more powerful than Jim Jordan. She's the high priestess. The anointed one of, and it's not the Illuminati. This Weishauptian 17th century Bavarian, it's the wrong term, just like chemtrails is a wrong term for geoengineering. There is something that is so dark and mysterious. I'm telling you right now, believe me when I tell you this. This is not just an exaggeration. It is the God's honest truth. I can't put this into words any more than what I've said so far. I cannot put it into words. And what is happening and what is being said is completely missed. And every now and then somebody will kind of, did you notice how Joe Rogan tried? Because Cat was so high, he couldn't even speak. But you notice how they tried? Because Cat Williams did not, that was a big flop. I don't know if it's because after the Club Shay Shay thing, if they got to him, if they told him to shut up, if they said, all right, that's enough, we're going to let you go on, Joe, but talk about everything else. Talk about UFOs and God and get gooned out of your mind, and then we'll let you do that. Maybe is that the story? I don't know. All I know is something very, very simple. And what they are saying and what they're showing and what they are trying to depict here is something that is missed altogether. Next point. I did a video which is so important to me, and Lionel members will get it later. It'll drop later on today. And I can't say this enough. There are people, I I promise you, I know how to destroy America and destroy the human race. And one of the things I will do, if I met somebody from another planet, I would say, make sure you understand what their weaknesses are and how they will kill themselves if you allow them. And what they cannot do at all, what nobody will allow them to do, and what they are the worst at is knowing what to eat. They will kill themselves. If I'm coming back from, doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll go from uptown through Harlem all the way down. And you just look at this. Harlem was the pearl, the jewel. It was the brownstones and the architecture and the history. Not only that, forget the music and the Conclave Meadows later on, but just before that, it's beautiful. And as you can tell, it's very, very African-American, Latino, but very, very dense. Okay. And as I'm driving through this, I realize there is no Whole Foods. There is nothing that most people do not drive. They're basically landlocked. I know it's a weird word. Manhattan's an island. And the level of obesity will make you cry. Little kids, older kids, it is off the charts. This is a genocide. This is the deliberate targeting of an individual group of people, in whole or in part, for the purposes of liquidating them. I know that word is used. If you don't see it, just look what's going on. Go through the health. Just go through what's going on right now. The health of just take typical, if there is such a thing, typical Black urban America. Hypertension, diabetes, cardiac incidents, obesity. Obesity is through the roof. I mean, morbid obesity. Young, old, a sedentary, and it affects the way you think, and it's a way to destroy a people. A group, a stratum, a class, to destroy their health. This country is so fat. This country, we talk about it all the time, and we always, So I did a video. There's things you got to understand. 6 reasons, and I'm going to give you a preview. America, people love you fat, love you sedentary. When you're fat, when you're unhealthy, you're not motivated. You're not active. Your brain is turned off. When you're not feeling good, when you're carrying 25, 30. I know people who are 100 pounds overweight. I know more, but I never talk about people's weight. But I know somebody who said, well, they'll lose a few pounds. She's 100 pounds overweight. 100. One guy told me, well, I've lost so many. He goes, I gotta get my weight back. And I'm saying, I don't know what world these people are living in. It's just incredible. We've never seen anything like this. And we could talk all day long about why people are, because when we were kids, we read, no. We'll talk about the break. Number 2, the industry, the world, the mechanized industry hates you to even suggest that non-processed foods are available. If I told you, I'll make a deal with you. You can eat whatever you want, but it can't come out of a bag, a box, or a can. I'll make a deal with you. And I'll throw meat in it, whatever. I don't. But if it doesn't have it in a bag, a box, or a can, you can. And there's some exceptions because there's some great beans and things you can get. But for the most part, the industry in this country will say, don't even think about this. That's how we make our money. Because what they do is they take things and they process it. They blast it with stuff. And what they do is they want to make sure it's salty, it's sweet, and it's fatty. It's penguin. It's unctuous. It's oily. There's something wonderful about it. Something is savory, but sugar, salt, and fat. And we inject it into this stuff. And that's what makes it real good. It tastes great. They know exactly what it is. They know which pleasure centers to hit. And if you like it, it's because it was there on purpose. It's the same thing with drugs. The reason why crack was so popular, I don't know if it is because it feels so good. It's not because it's good. Okay. So the idea that if it's not processed, they love processed food. Processed, milled. When you read ingredients on something, it's just. I've told people, you like potato chips? Yeah. Why don't you make your own? Slice them and fry them. I don't care. The frying, the fat that we do in this country, another story. But even that, it's like, okay, I'll give you that one. And we love to pretend that we care about seed oils and things like that. The third reason, we talk about the Jewish lobby, the gun lobby, we talk about whatever, the meat and dairy lobby. Now, first and foremost, I have nothing against these great people, but they're scared out of their minds. They are scared out of their minds, and I don't blame them. You got Bill Gates who wants to buy up all the property, and I guess you think he wants to introduce lab make you eat bugs and things like that. I don't know. That's what they say. But what people are saying, the effects of cattle and in terms of aquifers and the waste and the transportation, they're under attack. And by the way, I understand completely. And this is not an anti-meat thing, but the meat and dairy lobby, oh my God. Do you remember a while back, Oprah Winfrey, before she was really Oprah, she was doing her show and she talked to people about burgers or something. And she said something to the effect of, well, you're not going to see me eating a burger again, or something like that. You're not going to see me eating a burger. And supposedly, cattle futures dropped. The Chicago Mercantile, whatever, they noticed this precipitous, demonstrable drop in cattle futures or cattle. It blew people away. They couldn't believe what they were saying. Couldn't believe it. Well, now she doesn't do that anymore. So there is this thing right now that says, don't do this. So what they do is they always have these folks and they'll say things like, have you noticed how unhealthy vegan people look? No, they don't. But they tell you they do. You notice the vegetarians, how unhealthy they look? What are you talking about? Remember when soy boy was a big thing? Soy boy? Because they talk about estrogen or phyto, they know nothing about this. But supposedly people who, because they eat a lot of soy, they become emasculated and feminized, and that led to this pusillanimous, this pathetic way of thinking, and their politics and blah blah blah. Okay, remember all that? Remember that? And they said it, and it's a thing, and it's a way to absolve yourself of fear, absolve yourself of guilt, redirect your energies, and to convince yourself that what you're doing is really the right way, that you don't want to be these people. Then they come up with these lies. The French I guess the anomaly, or what's they call it, the French, they eat all this butter. No, where did this come from? What are you talking about? What are you talking? No, butter's great. Look at the French. What do you mean? Look at the French. Where's the study? I don't know if there's a study, but they did this. Same thing with the Mediterranean diet. They did the same thing with that. Oh, Mediterranean olive oil. Ansel Keys never had said anything about olive oil. Never. And it was talking about Crete, and Crete was the subject because after World War II, there was no meat to speak of. They had to eat plants and roots and walk, and they know nothing. But there's this thing, there's this idea. And the latest regarding fasting, people don't want to eat. There was a study, it was a while back, where somebody said, I can't believe these parents in the old days used to send kids to bed without having their supper. And I said, well, what's wrong with that? And they looked at me like I suggested beating them with an electrical cord. I said, what's wrong with that? Go to bed hungry. So I do it all the time. What are you talking about? You want to be full when you go to bed? I swear to God, because they thought, but you're hungry. Uh-huh. And that's why this fasting thing, but I'm hungry. I got to eat. No, you don't. No, you don't understand. I get jittery. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Obesity in Samoa is critical. American Samoa. In fact, it's so bad, Raul, that they have diabetes is so off the charts that amputation and wound clinics are like nail salons, like in most countries. Stand by for 1 second. Let me let this I'm hitting you with a lot of stuff, but it's critical. And it goes to show you more, not so much about the subject matter, but the way everybody seems to be working in lockstep. But before we continue with this, let's talk about our dear friends at mypillow.com. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Well, it's time yet again to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know, a free gift. Gifts are free. Okay, it's a tautology, so sue me. But listen to me and listen carefully. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 body pillows, waffle blankets, couch and recliner pillows, sheets, slippers, percales. I'm not even done yet. Towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, pet blankets, bolster pillows, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And their monster sellers, slippers, my slippers, slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at My Pillow? What's their main goal? To make things real soft, plush, real comfy, or comfy as I say it. How perfect. So here's the link right now. Go to mypillow.com/Lionel. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel or /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. 800-645-4965. And watch how fast our good friend Mike Lindell answers the phone. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply and absolutely the best. My friends, I'm going to say this again and again and again and again and again and again. The truth hurts. The truth is the worst thing in the world. The truth. Alice Fava, by the way, is a new member. Thank you, Alice. Alice, as I call you Alice. I call you Alice. It's one of those things that people do not like. This is a tough thing to talk about. People don't want to discuss it. But the final reason for all of this is something that you may or may not have noticed. Ozempic and Wegovy. Ozempic is this thing that everybody is running to. And Oprah Winfrey, who basically told people for years on Weight Watchers, it's right. I don't do drugs. I don't. Then to say, now, I don't even know what. First of all, if you believe anything she says, you are crazy. Do you hear where we're going with this? This is the stuff. Now, I am not a physician and I'm not a pharmacologist, and I am not, but I will tell you one thing, and I know this for a fact. There are trial lawyers waiting for the first blast of, this might not have been a good idea. Now, I don't have any information of that, but would you be surprised if all of a sudden they said, oh my God, they took Ozempic off the market? It was having a negative effect. Now, where have I heard that before? Can you think of anything in recent times where you were told that something, a drug or whatever, that was safe was in fact not? Do you remember anything like that? Do you remember any kind of time in history where there was something that was offered that everybody in the medical community said, oh, no, this is necessary. This is great. This is really good, beneficial. In fact, they would even tell you, don't say anything about it. You're not a physician. You don't know what you're talking about. Be careful. Don't be a denier. It'll come to mind, but it escapes me. This is where we are right now. It is one of the most incredible things in the world, and I can't emphasize it enough. And you know what I'm talking about. And we've been told for the longest time to say, I don't know where you live, but in New York, the number of people that I know who have had the most hideous plastic surgery, they have spent more money on absolutely hideous. Do you know anybody who's had really good plastic surgery? Do you? There must be. And you know what good plastic surgery is? When you don't know it's plastic surgery. And if you don't know it's plastic surgery, people are going to say, I didn't get my money's worth. A little tiny little adjustment. That's not good. I don't have to come back again. I want you to fix this. Do you ever see these commercials for plastic surgery? We're going to do your chin, your nose, your eyelids. You're going to be great. We're going to sandblast you. You're going to be, oh, it's fantastic. Remember when fillers were big? The fillers, they had those little fat face. What is going on here? But nobody would ever spend any amount of time or money in losing weight because that involves things like being hungry. And being hungry is something that we just don't do. Being hungry is a sign of, well, we weren't meant to be funny. And then you talk about hormesis, apoptosis, autophagy. What do you think happens when you diet? You eat it's autophagy. You eat your own fat. Nobody wants to discuss that. But that's the big thing. And there was somebody who showed me, somebody from Fox News. Hey, this might not be good for your heart. Okay, thank you. Stupid. Now let me ask you something. While we're on this subject of stupid, I'll give anybody a first prize here if you want. Tell me, what is Trump's message? What's Trump's message? How is Trump going to win the undecided or independent voter? Anybody? Anybody know? Anybody? Hello? Anybody tell me? How is Trump going to win the independent or undecided voter? Anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody? What is he saying? What's the message? Not you, because you love him and you think he's great and that's terrific. What is he doing right now when everything is falling apart, when Biden is the most vulnerable? What is the message of Trump and the Republican Party? What is it? What is it? I'm not Joe. Thank you, Wes. Because defendants, interesting. The Democrats said, I'm not Trump. What is it? What is it? Where is the message? Where is the message? Someone right. I don't want to say your name out, but I don't think he really cares if he wins. You know, there's something honestly to this. I don't know about that. But it would not surprise me if deep down inside he is so tired of this. Because they're telling him, you sure you want to go through this? You sure you want to go through this? Say the word, we'll let you go. It's like contempt, civil contempt. The line is you hold the keys to your jail cell. some people have suggested that deep down inside, Trump made a deal with Saudi Arabia and those folks. That Trump sees, you know what? I am at the end of my. Now, hear me out. I'm not necessarily endorsing this, but ask yourself this question. I'm Trump. I've had it. My party's not. Where are people helping me? I made people billions. Everybody from Ackman to the folks from Goldman Sachs to whatever. They could say, we're going to help you. Saudi Arabia. That's why there's no way that somebody can say, we are not going to let you fail. I want to own you, Mr. Trump. I want to own you. And if you need, how much do you need? $500 million? You got it. I'll put together, we got it for you. We got it. In fact, it's not a matter of transferring funds. It's picking up the phone and saying, all right, that's it. That's it. Okay, that's it. You've got people in areas of the world who just, wouldn't you love to put together something? The same people who put how many millions and millions of dollars? It's $500 million. The same people who put together money for Joe Biden and Hunter over. Come on. You mean to tell me that South Korea, China, France, not to mention every big shot on Wall Street and Silicon Valley, are you kidding me? Trump is the best thing for business, and you want him in. So there's a part of me that says this is all bullshit. That something at the last minute or behind the scenes, that this thing that's being drawn on a plate out is really not happening. Because there is no reason, there is no way you could put this together. And Trump doesn't. They keep saying billionaires don't have cash on hand. They don't have $500 million in cash. Yeah, they can, if they want to say, okay, I want you to liquidate this and that, okay, fine, whatever. You can't do that with real estate. You can't say, yeah, can you liquidate floors 10 through 12? No. And by the way, I don't think Trump is, I'm sorry, I don't think he has as much money as people say, but he's got a hell of a lot of money. He's a billionaire, but I don't think he's the richest man in the world. He's lost money. He's lost money. So the first rule is, I don't believe, does anybody here, do you believe anything you're hearing about him? I don't believe any of this. I'm just not even worried about it. Because it's almost like saying, listen, do us a favor. Give us this. For all Trump knows, he says, look, this is great. This goes my art of the deal. How I fought back. Trump loves to tell the story. When he was, remember when Atlantic City, they were gonna ruin him. There were suggestions that his father would go and buy $3 million worth of chips and never play. Isn't that something? Did you ever hear those stories where I forget what Trump Taj Mahal or whatever the hell it was, Atlantic City? He needed help. So the old man said, all right, I'm gonna go gambling. I'm gonna buy $3, $4, $5 million in chips and never play. So that's yours. Could be, maybe, kind of clever if you think about it. And what did he do later? He wrote this great book about how I fought back. And I told those bastards who was, okay, fine, great. And he did that. He did it. Remember that? This would be a great story too. I fought back. They were going to padlock Trump Tower. They were on my heels and I fought back and I beat them down and I won. Or he doesn't beat him. He doesn't. The idea of, and what Letitia James is going to do, you mark my words, she's going to make all this stuff homeless shelters. Not only take your property, but fill it with people you don't necessarily like. Do you understand what's happening here? So I ask you a question. What are you going to do? What's going to happen? You buying any of this stuff? Of course not. Of course not. How do we focus people on the election? Why have the deep state been so successful in this? Why is there no reaction from American voters? It seems like American voters don't really do anything. They don't react. The media and I guess social media, they react and they absorb all of their role. Here's a question. Is there anything called morality anymore? What do you think about women who involve themselves in this thing called OnlyFans? What do you think about that? Tell me what you think. What do you think about OnlyFans? What do you think about that? OnlyFans. Does that make it? Is that okay? OnlyFans. Does OnlyFans do anything for you? Anybody here on OnlyFans? This is kind of like a YouTube porn where you can go online and you can do your things and people will pay you, whatever it is. Anybody got this? Any got that? Anybody involved in that? Are you involved in any kind of porn? You see anything wrong with it? Do you see how this in line with prostitution move is basically I know Lizzie advocates it. Great for making a few extra bucks. I can understand that. But do you think there's anything towards the complete and total decline of morality? Ladies, do you think modesty exists anymore? Do you think so? I don't know why. On my videos, on my YouTube, I have this thing that comes. I don't know where this comes from. Did I click on it once? And they show beach scenes. At first I thought, oh, this is interesting. Look at the beaches. I'm a West Coast of Florida guy. I like white sand. I don't like pebbles and rocks and black sand and mud. And I like white sand. So I thought, oh, this is terrific. And what I'm doing is I said, and I have not been to a beach. If I told you I have been in the water maybe 10 times in my life, maybe in the Gulf or whatever, maybe, I don't even know that. I have no interest in this whatsoever. None. But, and there's a pun there. I'm seeing women walking around with thongs, and I say to myself, how is this happening? And I'm sorry, why are these people not absolutely embarrassed beyond belief? It's one thing to have a gut hanging over some Speedo, but these women are walking around with thongs. Have you seen this? It's horror. And not only that, of the people who are not steatopygian and who are more callipygian, they exhibit this absolute gargantuan. It's like, this is hideous. They're walking around with their ass hanging out. When did this become? What is this? Now, people say there's nothing. There's something wrong with the human body. I know all that. I've been around. I understand. There's nothing wrong with it. And you can say, well, you know, it's good that maybe somebody feels positive. Okay, that's fine. What happened to modesty? Am I an old-fashioned? I've been saying this all my life. The sexiest thing to me is somebody who's modest. If you want to talk about sexy woman, it's modest. There's Mad Peace, by the way. Thank you, Mad. Thank you for that. There is nothing more beautiful. If you go through, if you go into who is beautiful, and I hate this term because that's something, whatever it is. But if you have to say the people that to me, and maybe look, to each his own. There's something about classy. What? Classy. Audrey Hepburn, when Grace Kelly, Veronica Lake, just go back into the starlets. They might have had something, but they looked like women. They look like women. When you look at Raquel Welch was never nude. She was never. Elizabeth Taylor, go down the list. Something happened. 60s, Okay, Brigitte Bardot. All right, Jane Fonda. All right, all right, all right. And then when did it? Then we had this androgyny took was replaced. Androgyny was replaced by what? What happened? You respected them, Wes. I would love to tell young boys, you want to get women? You want to seduce a woman? You want to hear this? Anybody interested? You want to drive women crazy? You want to be you know what the art of seduction is? Who do you think is the best seducers in the world? Best looking? No. That's always the worst. It's somebody who is the gentleman. Somebody who's nice and kind, funny, and just a great person. That's what gets women all the time. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there are some who say, I don't care, but I understand that. But we're talking about most normal people. As far as men go, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Sexy's a different story. Sexy's a weird thing. I don't even think sexy's not really the word. But it's not about having sex with people. That's what it implies. You know that do you know that girls today that listen to me, that emergency rooms are reporting more and more women coming in with young girls having with strangulation marks. Some of them who are passed out. And by the way, when you pass out and you have had any kind of thing where you have been, don't give me this carotid restraint stuff. It's not good for you. But if you watch porn, they're showing people choking and slapping. And if you're 15, 16, you have no idea what's going on, and you're told this is normal. This is how demented this is. Look, I don't want to talk about pornography. Pornography, when I was a kid, was Hugh Hefner, Playboy. And what was Playboy then? It was respect. It was cool. Playboy After Dark. How to make a cocktail, how to get the best hi-fi system, Playboy's, all the jazz, What Kind of Man Reads Playboy. Remember that, Smoking Jackets and The Girls Next Door. And it was a different kind. Now it is just demented. Demented. Do you see what's happening? Is this by accident? No. Now we want to have this thing where we have non-binary. What does that mean? No differences between men and women. And let me also tell you something. It's not women, strike that. It's not men who are being emasculated, demasculated, unmasculated, dismasculated. No, it's women. They're coming after you, not men. Men are creeping into female realms. Men are creeping into women. When you talk about, it was so funny, when you talk about gay, during the 80s, when AIDS, people said, is there homosexual discrimination? Are gay people discriminated because of the fear of AIDS? And a lot of lesbians said, yeah, we're doing, excuse me, you're not involved in this. You're a lesbian. They weren't even, but I said, oh yeah, well that's, we're not talking about you. Well, what about them? Well, we're talking about the flamboyant gay. That's what we're focused on. It's the women. It's like, you idiot. Pick your, is it gayness? Well, maybe not that. That's not what really annoys us. It's this one. It's the RuPaul's. That's the one we focus on. But if you're just some, couple of, remember Indigo Girl types and Lilith Fair and okay, well, that's all right. Go ahead. That's nice. That didn't bother anybody. I love that. Just be quiet. But this, that's the problem. Do you? No, the best part is nobody cares about this. But what we're seeing right now is we're seeing this complete, and it's not going to stop with this. The demoralization, the undoing of morality. You hear what I'm saying? This the undoing of this. Sexy is smart and beautiful and normal and natural and not this, whatever this is. God bless. Remember when libs of TikTok had these people sitting around there with his nose talking about they thought they were a pencil sharpener, and this one connected with I'm a fawn, I'm a sloth. What is happening here? Who speaks to that? Who? Listen, I appreciate the fact that there's a variety of humanity and sexuality. But what we're seeing right now is a complete and total destruction of everything. Are you with me on this one? Am I wasting my time? I think I'm wasting my time. I think you're saying, yeah. I think you've given up. I think you've given up. I swear to God. I think you have given up. Now, one person I know who's not given up at all, and I appreciate if you remind me of this, is please do me a favor and follow Mrs. L on YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. This week she's in Albany. She's in these things all day today. These you have no idea, and sometimes it's dry, but it's motivational, it's organizational, it's governmental. How to protect children. And the best thing you can do to find out what's going on is to follow her at Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. LYNNS, in case you're listening later on. LYNNS, not LYNNE. I don't know why people do that. Or LINN. LYNN. Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Or Lynn's _Warriors on X or Twitter, as we call it Twitter, as far as I'm concerned. Now, another thing too is on April the 4th, we've got an event coming up that is fantastic. It's a great event. It's terrific. It's going to be me and Dick Morris and Mrs. L. We're going to be at a great place called the Metropolitan Republican Club. I'm going to give you this. You get my tickets. We're not getting paid. We're doing this just to do it. This is not about us making any big splash. Here is the tickets right there. Make it a point. Come on out to see it because we are dead serious about this. I'm not the usual suspect crowd. I'm sorry. I have nobody very few people that I listen to that are really trying to make a difference that I consider to be interesting. And my friends for the most part are just completely detached from everything and anything. So in any event, make sure one more time. Here it is. Here's the link. Come on, say hello. Dick Morris he fascinates me. I really hadn't been following him as of late. Sometimes I get bored very easily and I start hearing the same thing over and over again. He has not been like that. So anyway, dear friends, thank you. Thank you for this. Don't forget, subscribe. Lionel Nation. I got more videos today. I'm in a mood. I am in a mood. And remember something. I never tell you something that I think you just want to hear. I tell you something that I believe that I hope you will want to hear and hope you agree with. All right? We love you. See you tonight at 7 p.m. per usual. And until then, remember. That's right. Say it twice. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.